Hey everybody, we are live on One Live Music and Podcast channel. Hi, how is everybody? It is live on a Wednesday, and funny enough, we have got, seems like Tuesday, Erica and Steve, who are on the show today, who are joining us for this amazing month celebrating, supporting Willen Hospice over in Milton Keynes. So welcome, Willen. I know you've been watching. You've been watching every single show which has been coming on, so thank you very much for that. So there is just a few. I've just been speaking to Erica and Steve about some of the messages that we need to give out before the show because it's a really important thing that we do this. That the subject that Weston has chosen for us, like we said in Michael's show, is a very complicated, very difficult show and charity to support. But I just want to make you all know that every single one of us in the month of September are there for you as a family. One Life Music Podcast channel is basically a family-based charity. We want you to be part of our family. We want the artists to be part of our family. And at the end of the day, the things that we discuss in today's show may hit hard and may make you feel a bit sappy. I said sappy. Do you know why I say sappy? Someone said that to me the other day. When people think about end of life, they do feel sad, but they also want to feel happy. They want to feel happy about the special memories that come along with their family members. You know, all the good things that happened. Palliative care and end of life care is so difficult for all of the families who are going through it. But actually, the hospices that I've worked with always help families remember the good times with their family members. And, you know, some of the things they do is absolutely amazing. And this is why I think Weston chose them. So in relation to One Life, it's just some updates for everybody out there in the podcast world. You know, we will continue to support Willen. We had that fantastic opportunity for Michael on the last show. He has contacted me since and has said he still wants to do this charity single for Willen. And remember, all proceeds will go to Willen Hospice. As soon as the record has been chosen by Willen and by Michael himself, the single will be released over the next month to 6 weeks, and any money which is made from that single will go straight to Willen themselves, who need your money to help. In relation to money to help, if you see on the One Life Facebook page, yesterday or today, I think I put it out, they are really in need of money. They are in need of support for beds. They are needed support for the support that goes out into the community. They are not getting enough money from the local governments. They are charity-based and they need your money. They need your help. So to continue their support, continue their help, they need you to help them in relation to charity support, but what we're doing this month. In relation to Austin, we did speak about Austin. This week's shows will all be dedicated to Austin until we find out from the family about his funeral. I have spoken to the family. The funeral will be taking place in America on the 17th of September. Family and friends have invited family and friends to go to the funeral. I have actually had a lovely invite myself to come over to America. I wish I could. They asked me to sing Angel, and I'm very honoured to be asked to sing that song for them. Unfortunately, I'm in the UK and it's going to be really hard to get to them. So the One Life Music Channel are going to get together as a community. We are going to be doing a 2-hour-long show in memory of Austin. We are going to be playing his music. He was a great musician, fantastic producer. At the age of 25, he had produced so many singles, which basically touched so many people's hearts. And he was an amazing singer and sang since he was a little kid. And at the end of the day, you know, we want to remember his good times, his great music that he made. So we'll be having that show here on One Life, and people can basically share their memories of Austin and share their good times of Austin. We want to showcase how good he was as an artist. One final thing in relation to sticking together and community, you know, One Life, we have lost our big part of our heartbeat. We are looking for a new partner, new producer to come on to the One Life program. Anybody out there who would like to basically support myself, AJ, in bringing together that album. Remember, the album is there to support multiple charities across the world. We're looking for somebody to basically cover us up in cotton wool and, you know, be one life together. And that's basically what we're looking for. I've had lots of people say, what's the direction of One Life? For you as artists, your music will be heard through our playlist. every time you come on, your music goes automatically into our playlist, and everybody can hear everybody's music. We have been approached by radio shows and things like that. So in the future, we may have our very own One Life radio show. That's something that we're going to get together. But the future's bright. We've only come back on air over the last 6 weeks, and we've got so many great things coming up for everybody. So keep subscribing to YouTube. Keep coming on to the One Life channel. Remember, the One Life journey isn't about the artists like Eric and Steve. It is about you as fans, you as family, and you who can actually support all these artists. I've shared so many memories over the last few weeks, and I'm going to speak to Eric and Steve about the ISSA Awards, because all of our artists have been there recently to Atlanta, and they've brought back their awards and shared their stories to One Life, and I've been sharing that with you. So there's some amazing times, and I keep seeing posts with everybody bringing back awards, everybody bringing back sort of top 30s, top 20s, number ones, all in the charts on the radios and things like that. And like Erica and Steve, you are doing fantastically well out there as unsigned artists, and you are doing an amazing job keeping the music rocking. And at the end of the day, I'd rather be listening to you lot than the national charts, because I tell you what, between us, we make great music. So, fantastic. Well done to everybody for getting the awards this last few weeks, and over this last week. And hopefully those highlights have been on One Life. So that was a bit of a mouthful to get out for before today's show, but it was needed. So I bring to you live on One Life, Eric and Steve, to Steve Like Tuesday.
We're very happy to be here.
Hello.
And we're happy to have you. So, you guys, I'm just going to do a few highlights from your bio on your Facebook. Your bio didn't leave me with much, because I know you've been very, very busy. So I've had to sort of fill in the gaps by going on Facebook. In terms of your highlights this year, you are a original rock band, followed by loads of people on social media, lots of radio, lots of podcasts. You seem forever to be doing these shows.
Yes.
And you are covered all over the place in terms of festivals, in terms of singles. You recently got a single out which has been played throughout the summer. In relation to a particular highlight for you this year, you were nominated for ISA Finalist Band of the Year, which was fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've had some really good highlights this year, and we're going to go through your highlights, and you're going to go through more of those highlights. So we start the show with charity, because we are a charity supportive show. And I just wanted to understand a bit more about the Elephant Awards you mentioned in one of your podcasts. Was that a charity, or was that something you are going for an award for? What, can you explain a bit more for it?
Sure. So it is charity work, no awards. However, they do have a piece of their Elephant Talk. They actually have Indie Music Awards. We actually signed on to perform as part of charity. So we do a lot for autism. I would say we had 3 gigs so far for autism, and Elephant Talk Indie is actually one of them as well.
Fantastic. So what's your connection towards autism? Why have you been brought towards autism to support that charity?
Well, I think any sort of charity, we would jump on it. We definitely like helping people. Everybody in the band's a good person, and it's just that's what happened to come down the pike. So we were like, sure, we'll do it. If it was anything else, we would gravitate to that too. I think anything to help anybody we're in. We'll lend a set of music, or give shirts or whatever, just to help a cause.
Fantastic. It's really good to hear. And I think as artists, we all do. I've mentioned many times on this program, my memories of growing up in relation to Band-Aid, in relation to Freddie Mercury, in relation to charity work, and doing it myself as an artist, going on stage, doing sort of charity gigs for family and friends. And, it brings back a really big, huge community to musicians. I think since COVID, I think we've basically all seen charitable donations more in relation to the music that we bring out. And a lot of people are doing charity singles, and it's great to see, whether that be professional artists, or even artists who, are on YouTube and things like that, then don't even see themselves as artists. We look at our Christmas number ones in terms of Trust Fund, and that baby, it's just become almost like a big thing to do a charitable release, and it's great. So, in relation to you getting together as a band, can I just ask why seems like Tuesday in the UK? Everybody wakes up going, "It's just another Monday." It seems like another Monday. So, how come you skipped today and got to Tuesday?
Well, the the Boomtown Rats, Bob Geldof was like, I don't like Mondays. That was his thing. Yeah. I think the band gravitated towards Tuesdays as far as
like practice days and
right meetings,
recording.
Yeah. So when we were getting together, obviously you're looking for a name, and everything has been taken, and we're like, well, we don't want to start going to numbers, like Blink 182 or something like that. We wanted to stay away from the numbers, and we were just like, so we just kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I said we should do something with Tuesday. So we were originally going to say Tuesday Night Music Club, but that was like the Sheryl Crow record, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. So we just kept messing around, and then eventually Seems Like Tuesday came out, and we were like, well, that'll be cool because we can put SLT, kind of like Stone Temple Pilots puts STP, so we could see it big on a marquee. We could shorten it. And I think the major reason we picked that is because it doesn't categorize you into one sort of genre of music. So we can do anything we want under that name. Like a band name like Megadeth or whatever, that's going to be a heavier band, So it just gave us the freedom to do whatever we wanted and write whatever comes naturally and not be pigeonholed into a country act or this or that or the other, which we have a lot of flavors to our music. So it really benefits us not to have that one, like name to categorize you in that one road. So that's why we picked that, and nobody else had it. More importantly,
you just got it. You've now copyrighted it because I've seen the logo. The logo looks amazing. It's one of those logos that's really like jumps out at you. It's like there. It's great. But there's not just you two. There's 5 of you, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have it's Erica's lead singer. I'm Steve. I play drums. We have another singer. Our male singer is Billy Zioli. He also plays guitar. We have another guitar player named Pete McGregor, and then the bass player is Chip Michael. So technically, we all sing, but we have 2 front people, right? You could say. So we have.
Is there a lot of competition between the singers?
Absolutely not at all.
No, not at all.
Maybe with him because he just started singing. And people are like, "Oh, your husband's amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Yeah. No, I think really whatever the song calls for, like if you have something like drop D or whatever, obviously that would be more conducive for a male voice to go down to that register. So that's the stuff Billy will sing. Stuff in standard tuning, Erica sings. But I think our main recipe of what we tried to do, because we went into it wanting 2 singers. We wanted the Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, or Mickey Thomas, Grace Slick, kind of back and forth storytelling between a male and a female voice. I think that, I don't know, no matter how good the singer is, after a while, you're like, okay, I think if you could change it up and have multiple people singing, I think it gives you a little bit more of an avenue to go down, and it could tell more stories, and characteristics in our male singer's voice are way different than Erica's. So it just broadens our horizons a little bit, let us do a little bit more with the band in general. And if you got good singers, then why not use them all? That's our thing,
Fantastic. So how long have you been together as a band? When did you first get together?
So Steve and I were actually in a cover band previously. I was in the cover band for about 18 years. He was in there for about 12. That's where we met. And then we actually just previously left this last April to focus on Seems Like Tuesday. And, obviously the schedule was a bit insane. But Steve has actually played with a lot of different guys throughout his career in his original music scene. What was that, like early 90s?
No. Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. So Chip, Billy, and Pete, Steve actually knows. So that's how they
were
I would
say he asked when. June, right?
Yeah, June 2022.
June 22,
Yeah.
and then we found Billy, which was the last piece of the puzzle in August.
Yeah.
So officially August, I guess, would be the actual date that we started out.
So tell me what's band life like for teams like Tuesday? Do you all get along? Do you have times where you don't get along? Do you have a big minibus that takes you from stage to stage?
So I will say everybody's going to have disagreements. That's just the way it is. Everybody has opinions. Something may sound different to someone and it may sound great to someone else. I think that the key is that you have to have that mutual respect with one another, which we do. I mean, that foundation has been laid out since we started the band. So that is key. I will say we pretty much travel ourselves when we have something far away, just because we have significant others. And we actually just played, was it last weekend, the Wally Lake Fest in Hawley, PA, up in the Poconos. Yeah. It was amazing. Such an amazing experience, but it was a real first time of traveling for all of us. So, we made sure we met up for breakfast, for dinner. We did a lot together. So it was fun. And I actually want more of that, But for the most part,
I think everybody, sort of says about what band life is really like. I remember when I spoke to Western, they're like, "Hey, you got to get yourself into a band. It's such a great feeling in terms of family and community, and you really do so much together. You almost sort of live each other's lives for that whole time that you're out on the road and you're out at festival." That's what I like to know a bit about what band life's like. In terms of, because you do spend a lot of time together. It's not as though you're just in the recording studio together. When you're not on the road and you're on the festival, sometimes you're staying overnight. You've really got to get on as a family.
Oh, absolutely. It's so important.
I think our biggest disagreements, or ain't even disagreements, just when opinions come out, is like when we're mixing a song. That's probably our biggest thing, to where it's like, well, the vocals need to be louder, or the drums ain't loud enough, or whatever. That's probably our stuff that we're most particular about individually. But nobody's, we're lucky. I mean, everybody's a seasoned player here. And everybody gets along. We all know each other for a long time. I think the biggest thing is when I started this band and the original phone calls I made, I mean, right off the bat, I'm very serious. I'm very direct. I'm not in this, this is my hobby, but this is who I am too, all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, look, I want to get quality people. I want to get people to have their lives together. You got to have a job. You got to have, transportation. If you break your string, you better come with a pack next practice. Don't have one battery in your guitar case, have several, all them things. I think that, the foundation was laid right from the beginning with me, at least, that, I don't want any like, riffraff in this thing. I want to come in. I want to be serious. I want to create music. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to put out the best, most professional thing we could possibly do. And most importantly, I want it to be fun. And if we practice well and we execute our craft, that's when the fun begins. You got to be able to be really, you got to execute that. I'm having a great time when I'm on stage and the band sounds good. That's when I'm having the most fun. Nobody's in it for the partying or the chicks, or that's, nobody's in it for that. I think we're really focused in on the music. And I've been in bands where, it was crazy and different stuff would happen. And I went on a little tour before and, eat White Castle 3 times for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that's all we could afford. But this band's really different. It's very mature, and it's very, we get down to business, and we don't waste not a second of rehearsal time, and everything's calculated and everybody has an opinion. But yet, it's not like a crazy either. Like I think I'm the leader of the band. I mean, this is a band I put together,
yes.
But Erica's keeping quiet there. It's like,
but at the same time, I mean, I don't run around like a cowboy doing whatever I want either. Everything's got to be, agreed upon. And I think I have everybody's best interest at heart. I'm not going to
Absolutely.
put a picture up that I look good in, the guitar player looks terrible. I'm not going to do that. So I think everybody trusts me, and I've earned my stripe, so to speak. So it's just, go ahead, Steve, do your thing.
Lead of the pack. Hey,
Yeah.
you've earned that candle. So, okay, you're sitting there very, very calm.
I'm just letting him do his thing.
Do you know what?
Awesome.
Erica, I deliberately done some of these questions because I watched your last podcast and I thought, do you know what? Poor Erica, she keeps getting Steve to say, come on, you can join in at any time, if you want to actually say something. So, Erica, I've helped you out with all these questions because I've really sort of nailed it down to getting Steve to be telling us a lot more. So anyway, in terms of a wasted summer, you haven't had a wasted summer. You have brought a new single out, and you've also been sort of going around festivaling around your local area as well. And it's been a very good summer for you. We are going to concentrate on the summer. We're going to concentrate what you've been up to over the last few months. But we are going to play this amazing single of yours because you did send it for me. So why don't we do this now? Why don't we play your single now? Sure. We're all going to take a little bit of a break and listen to your single. It's a bit weird when it comes over and we just all just sit there listening to it together. But I'm going to give a big smile. I'll probably jump my hips as I do, and I hope everybody out there enjoys the song as well. So can you tell us a bit about Wasted Summer and how that came about?
Sure. So that was actually brought in by Billy Zioli, one of our other lead singers and guitarist. He came in with a riff and a chorus, and I wrote the verses, the pre-chorus, the bridge. I thought back to what I always look forward to growing up as a child or in my teenage years, which we don't really get to experience anymore because, we all have kids and work full time and the summers go by so fast, time just does not slow down. So that's pretty much what the song is about, going back to really when, and just like the song says, you were young, wild and carefree. You had no worries, just hanging out on the boardwalk with your friends and just living your best life, Obviously we're still doing that, but in a different way. Like I said, we all have kids and we work, responsibility. So it just really brought me back to the times where, and I'm sure everybody else can relate, to where you really just enjoyed yourself.
Fantastic. Let's bring this track to you. Let's see if we can get everybody to hear it. Here we go. We are going to play that for you again because it seems to go right back to the beginning. Do you know what? It's been one of those days today. Let's go from the beginning. Let's go. Here we go. Love internet, don't you?
Someone told me long ago, just live your life, enjoy the show. Take me there. How do I get me It should have been the time of my life. Had another wasted summer. Overlooked up tonight. Had another wasted summer. I wish I could go back in time. Had another wasted summer. I only want to make you right. Had another wasted summer. Overlooked up tonight. Had another wasted. Should have been the time of my life.
Fantastic. What a
Thank
great song.
you.
Do you know what? It's really good timing because Fred's now tapping on the window.
Yeah.
I think that song just literally brought him to the window. Hi,
Yes.
Fred, how you doing, young buddy?
I love
Welcome to the
it.
show. I will put a picture of Fred back on Facebook for everybody because I don't think we've seen him for a while. I haven't put him up there. We did a sticker with him the other day. We just come right up to the window like this.
Oh my God. That's
He's our
crazy.
official mascot. That was Melissa from the ISSA team. But she was on our show. She heard Fred, just like, what's that? I said, Fred to see him. She said, I've got to see him. I've got to see
That's
him.
hysterical.
The best part of that is when we're, you know, we play that for someone or whatever, like you're like this. That's what it's all about, man. That's it. That's
And
it.
then I'll tell you for YouTube, when the single first come out, you know, how many times did you actually listen to it yourself? Did you just put it on and go, and we've done that now, you know, we just move on to the next song. Let's rewind it and put that on ever again.
We moved to the next one. Yeah, it's like, well, with that, you know, obviously you write it, then you record it, then you're gonna mix it, then you're gonna master it, and then, you know, I did the actual video, so I had to sit through all them edits, and you know that takes forever. So yeah, I've about had it with it. So I'm on to the next one. Already.
It's typical artist reactions that we all put singles out and we've worked on them, but I don't think people understand what goes into making a single. I think people think we just sit with a guitar, we write our lyrics, and then the next day that it's produced. You know, these singles sometimes take months and months and months to put together. And by the time you've played them so many times, you've almost overrun it in your head, and it's just like, I need to do another song
tweaking.
to get out of my head because I've just heard it so many times. Everybody out there, we want you to really enjoy our music, really enjoy our single, but for us as artists, it's like, I need to move on to the next one now.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was a great compliment. When we first wrote this song, you know, we tape every practice. So I actually was listening to it, and this girl at work, she was listening to it, and she was like, "Oh, that's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a band practice tape from my basement or whatever." And then, you know, of course, you know, you talk to her. I'm like, "Yo, you know, we're gonna go in the studio, and then we're mixing. The next day, we're doing this, we're doing that." So anyway, after a long stretch of time, I play her the video. I'm like, she's like, "That's great." I'm like, "That's the original song you heard in the office that day." And I played her that same, you know, practice version of it. And she's like, "Oh my," like where that went to, you know?
You know, for you, Steve, for you, I'm looking on Facebook, I'm looking at the radio plays, I'm looking at the coverage this song is getting. It is going multiple. You know, everybody seems to be absolutely loving this song. You know, and it's a real accomplishment to you. But in terms of accomplishment, you know, you've had this big year. You did get nominated for the ISSA Awards. You know, how was that process for you? Is that your first awards, or have you been up for more awards like the ISSA before?
Well, we won. There was that Brian's Rock and Roll Radio show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not our first ISSA though.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
the
our
ISSA.
first,
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
won. We've been involved with a couple award things, and we actually won a couple. But yeah, this was our first introduction to that ISSA. Yeah, we just submitted our music, and they picked us as one of the bands that were nominated. We actually got asked to play, but we actually had a gig, which is what Erica was telling you. We actually had that gig booked for like a year, and we had hotels, and you know, we had all kinds of riders and all kinds of stuff involved in that. We couldn't leave, but we were going to go to Atlanta and play for that, for the pre-show, I guess, the pre-award, but we just couldn't cancel what we had already going on. But maybe
have you got your tickets booked already for next year? Are you going to be there next year?
No, if it's in the plans, I mean, you got to look at what the date is and everything. But yeah, that's something that we would consider. That's only from us. We're in New Jersey, so that's in Atlanta. It's like a 2-hour flight. It's like not that big of a deal. It's just, what do you do for equipment? Do you rent equipment there? Do they supply the equipment? All that goes into it. Because if you're bringing drums on a plane, you're paying. You know, so I guess it depends on what the situation is there. If we could borrow somebody,
I'm sure they would welcome you. And Tammany put a post the other day about everybody making sure they get their hits coming. For next year. You're doing that. You're bringing out some classic tracks. You're bringing out some great tracks, and I'm sure you're going to be up for an award again next year. If we're all going to be
hopefully
rooting behind you at One Life to make sure you're over next year. So in One Life, we are a family. If we want to get to know you a bit more outside of music, as for artists, I don't know about you, I think we get this question asked for us time after time when we go on stage. Can we buy your T-shirt? Can we buy your CD? Can we know more about your music? And music. That's everything everyone wants to know about us. We're real people at the end of the day. So I was doing a bit of digging on your Facebook before I come on live, and I've got one question for you. WWE watch party.
Yeah.
Who's a WWE fan? Come on.
Yeah. We actually got there's an like this arena. It's like a small arena. It's called the 2300. And it's on the street, like in kind of like a little isolated area in Philadelphia. And they have wrestling matches. Now it's not big ones, but it's like, kind of like, I forget what it's like, Excalibur wrestling or whatever it is. It's kind of like more of a local kind of wrestling matches. And they hold them at this place. So when they were having the big, WrestleMania at the stadium, they do the watch party there, and then they have wrestling matches afterwards. So we played the week before at this place. We just did a regular gig, and the owner came up to us and he was like, "Look, I gotta have you. Will you play the next weekend?" And we're like, "All right, we'll do it." And it was crazy. It was crazy because there was wrestling matches there was actual a wrestling match letting out as the watch party was going in for WrestleMania that was down the road at the stadium. So there was a ton of people coming and going. And I forget that big wrestler's name. That big
the one that
dude.
was sitting on the.
Yeah, I forget his name. But anyway, he really liked this, and he bought a shirt. And it ain't going to fit him, but he bought a shirt. And he bought like a large shirt. The dude's like 300 pounds.
As I said, all of the wrestlers I know on WWE, they need like 5XL, 6XL, just to get their muscles in.
He was a black dude, and he was like one of the world's strongest men.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry.
I know these. Okay, go.
Okay, Mark Henry.
Out on One Life. Okay, I do watch wrestling. Okay, but my nephew, my brother's son, is a big wrestling fan, and he tells us all about these wrestlers. So
well, there you go.
There you go.
He really liked us. He came up, shook my hand afterwards, was checking us out and stuff. So, that's how we got that gig. It just kind of fell upon us, and it was cool. It was cool doing something like that.
Who would you play for? So they all have amazing rock tunes as they come through, just like on their intros, don't they? If you could name one wrestler who you could put your music to, who would it be?
Oh my God!
The most popular one right now. No,
the most popular one right now that I don't know the name of, because I had a watch party, but I wasn't watching really. I just put it on my Facebook.
I don't know. I guess maybe one of the girl wrestlers, because you're a girl singer. You come out with the girl wrestler. I don't know. I haven't put much thought into that.
I just want to try and push you on it because I was quite interested when I saw it. Just out of the blue, there's your music. I can't find out much about your life, and then all of a sudden it's WWE watch party.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Erica, come on, the lady of the band. Come on. Tell me a bit about Erica in terms of life outside of music. You can't just be putting in everything into your music. There must be something else which you do.
Yeah, I mean, I have been in the medical field since the age of 13, actually. Got hired right out of high school. Have been in the medical field ever since. Full time, I work remote, so I work from home and travel when I need to. I take care of our blended family of 5 kids. I have 3. He has 2. Oh my God, what else?
We got a dog.
That
won't stop barking all day. family, or both of our families are like totally Italian on both sides. So you got all the
Like Sunday
meal,
gravy. Yeah.
all
of
that,
that.
and all them traditions that come with all that heritage. But
what do your kids think to your music? Do they think, oh, for God's sake, Mum and Dad, will you please stop playing in the garage and go to bed? Or do they support your music?
So, I mean, I think secretly 2 of them do, but they won't tell us. They'll just be like, okay, is practice done yet? Like, I got to go to bed,
Yeah.
But our girls, I have 2 girls, he has 1. They have been super supportive.
Fantastic.
They actually helped us at our EP release party, which was in February of 2024. They're always looking at videos, trying to edit with us and look at things that maybe we don't see. They've been really
we're kind of
good
like
sports.
I'm an old soul. Like I like older bands, and I have my roots, and I stick to that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, that's not hip. You have to do this now if you want. Like they're all like, you got to go on TikTok. You got to go on TikTok.
I'm like, well, create a dance to our song.
Yeah.
You know what? I felt so old the other day. I'm 48 years old. We're young. Okay, 48 years young this year. And I had an artist called Just George, and she does a TikTok live, and she's on virtually every single night. And she was telling me, as young artists, they use TikTok a lot to sing and to generate revenue. And basically, she signed up to an agency in London, and now that's her bread and butter. And she earns a very good living from it. So me and my fiance basically had a look into this a bit more in terms of herself and everybody else, and we came across such a wide range of people who are singers and artists on TikTok.
Yeah.
We're not just saying sort of teenagers, young people. We were seeing older people up to the age, I don't know, 75, 80, doing a karaoke, 75,000 followers, and just basically raising money and income. And I was like, I'm missing a trick. I really am. What am I doing on YouTube and Facebook where TikTok is the way to go? And I just thought, you know what? That's a real big shout out to everyone.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I'm like, maybe I'm missing the boat. I should be over here doing this. I always felt like TikTok was like a kid thing.
That's what
Obviously, it isn't.
It really isn't. It really opened my eyes, and it was really fun as well. It was a great. I think we sat up, and we do look at TikTok quite a lot between myself and partner. The little clips and like something to make you laugh throughout the day. But we sort of looked into it more seriously because she has a charity, and obviously I do this. And we looked at it and spent a bit more time on it. We were just shocked about the amount of talent also on there in terms of singers, in terms of bands, and everybody's using this platform. I was thinking, actually, when I do my next show, I'm going to talk to artists a bit more and say, look, come on, we're missing something here. We really are missing something here as artists.
Yeah,
but there are so many great platforms.
Yeah, it's true. So especially with, and not just TikTok, but the whole point of going live once a week, or practice. If I were to go live for 3 songs, let's say, I hear that a lot. Everybody always says, everybody meaning independent artist, and I see it. You go on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they're always live, either 2 nights a week, 1 night a week, and they make it happen. Like, that's another avenue.
That is definitely another avenue. And that's for you girls. I tell you what, those girls are going to look back at this video and go, right, we've got you. Tomorrow night, we are going to be setting you lot up, and we are going to be doing a live TikTok, so they're going to be watching this video back, and they're going to say, Mum and Dad, that little bit in the video where you said that we are now going to expand into TikTok and things like that. We're going to make a TikTok out of you.
Exactly.
So they're going to watch this back with great joy in their hearts, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
In relation to the rest of the year, we're nearly coming out towards the end of our show. In relation to the rest of the year and finding out where your music's going to be heading for the rest of the year, where are we going to be following you?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we have some gigs up until December, lots of festivals, which is great. And we're currently in the studio now working on our next EP, which should be released early winter 2025. So, and then obviously as we record, we'll release singles. So this way everybody gets a taste of that. before the EP is released.
And apart from finding you on TikTok tomorrow, where else are we going to find you?
Yeah, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, seems like Tuesday. And then obviously all streaming
YouTube.
platforms. Oh, YouTube, cannot forget YouTube. All of our videos for each single you can find on YouTube as well.
Brilliant. Is there any final thank yous that you want to say to friends and family and the people who come and watch your shows? Because it's a good opportunity to say thank you to people now. Is there anyone you'd like to say thank you to?
Yeah, I mean, our streamers, number one, all of those folks that are just keep streaming our songs. We appreciate it.
Yeah, all the new people we met, like we've been doing a lot of playlists and stuff through Facebook, and all the bands that, you know, we're fortunate enough that they put us on their playlist and stuff. Now we've become friends, and I like their stuff and they like our stuff, and that's how the community goes, you know. Tony Mecca, our record producer, puts in a lot of hours for us. Dave Piron is another guy he's relentless worker. Great to have him on our team. He does all our mixing and our engineering. My roadie, Anthony Pace, for being with me forever. That's it. And I guess our families and friends, because they put up with us doing this, which takes time. Yeah, that takes time away from me being dad sometimes, you know. It's part of it, I guess. You know, you got to prioritize certain things, you know.
Fantastic. It's been a real pleasure to meet you both, and it's a real pleasure to listen to your music and continue to be part of Seems Like Tuesday. You know, we've almost sort of joined at the hip now. You know, you're not going to get away from us, and we're not going to get away from you. So, in relation to final thoughts for the show, I have really enjoyed this. You know, in terms of how it began, we did have a very difficult time in some of the things that we got to discuss, but we do need to keep discussing those, because at the end of the day, we are supporting Willen Hospice, and we will continue to support us. I'm asking all of the artists on the show for this month, where you can support Willen, please do, on your Facebook, on your socials. We will put the video out to everybody with the tag of Willen Hospice. So please dig deep and help them out. And, you know, as artists, in relation to the ending, in relation to the community, you know, I know there were some things which were said at the beginning of today's show which were hard, but we're there for you as a family. Okay, I'm sure for myself and for Eric and for Steve and all the artists and for Willen Hospice, if there's any time that you do need support when you are going through a difficult loss of a family member, please just reach out. Just basically throw a text, throw a phone call, you know, please, rather than just basically keeping it inside, just basically reach out. You know, we will support you. We will help you there. In relation to Austin, you know, I'm really looking forward to the show now. We're almost getting to a point where we're going to celebrate it. I will put the Facebook post up in the next couple of days, and we'll get that show on the road. And the family are really now almost excited to celebrate his life with One Life, and we will get that up and going. And you know what? The last thing is we have got Duncan Cocker coming on at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening here live in the UK. So he's our next podcast. We've got some great shows lined up for you this month, and it's been an absolute cracker with Eric and Steve and Seems Like Tuesday. And I'd just like to say good night to everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.